All right, so these are 7 money hacks to build wealth and save more in your 20s. I did every single one of these personally in my earlier years. I still do some of these to this day. And trust me, I'm going to try and go in order as much as I possibly can. But regardless, all of these in their own way can help you no matter where you're at. So let's just jump in, waste no time, get right into number 1. And this was arguably the hardest one for me to focus on, especially in my earlier years. And that's just focusing on high and consistent cash flow first on a monthly basis rather than investing. And I need you to trust me on this, right? Don't stress out about investing yet. I need to get a little bit better with this. This is my most common comment on my other videos, and I know I get too ahead of myself with investing stuff. And it's a good thing in discipline, and we'll talk about this more in a little bit, but you need to get cash flow through the door as soon as humanly possible. I know what it's like to work for near minimum wage and scratch my 2 pennies together, hoping it turns into $1, right? This is a bit of a wake-up call here because I used to do that 9 times out of 10. That just doesn't happen. You're likely not going to hit the next big swing on a meme coin, or you most likely won't hit the next big win on a penny stock, right? And the people who are, it's the whole principle, it's the whole mindset. They're lazy, right? That's the issue. Not all of them are, but most. They want to make a ton of money while not doing any of the work. And that's just so backwards, right? You can't do that. Investing when you have next to nothing is good in discipline and practice for sure, but just focus on raising your income, right? As much as you possibly can, because there's not much to invest in the first place. And turning, I'm just going to be quite frank with you, yes, $100 a month, it's good in the beginning, but what happens a lot is you want to start with $100 a month, and then you want to start at 2, and then 500, and 1,000, 2,000. A lot of guys, they just focus on investing so much, and it's like they think that $100 a month is going to get them there forever. It's not. You need to compound these things. You need to compound your cash flow. So I just need to get that one, hit that home right away. It's so important, especially for my younger guys. Number 2, annualize all monthly expenses. And what I mean by this is instead of looking at things on a monthly basis, think of 12 months from now, a year. Like, would you pay up front for some of these expenses? And for most, it's probably, maybe it's a yes, but most for me were a no, especially my early 20s. It's like line by line on my personal and my business P&L. I do this to this day. It's like, $200 to $300 a month. That doesn't sound like too much money, but when you annualize that, when you times it by 12, that works out to $2,500 to $3,600 a year, $2,400 a year. It's like, that's insane. That's multiple thousands of dollars. When I was making $50,000 a year, that's a lot of money going out on an annual basis for some random like tech subscription that I was using way back when I was doing side hustle stuff. It's like, holy crap, like I had this subscription on for 10 months. I wasted all this money. I didn't even use this damn thing. Prime, on the other hand, I'm sorry, but Amazon Prime is my best $12 a month that I ever spent. So big shout out to them. Number 3, max out all your tax advantage accounts, please, ASAP. Once you have those first 2 things, please, this means your Roth, this means your 401, this means for my Canadian fellas, your TFSAs, the amount of, and they do it purposefully, okay? These government websites, they purposely make it cryptic. They purposely make it confusing, so it's almost overwhelming for you, and you're like, screw it, I'm just going to open an account that I know for a fact can work. It's like, you don't have to do that. Trust me, man, right? You need to max out tax-free money. I had a family member recently. She's like, yeah, I'm saving money in a TFSA. I'm like, okay, yeah, that's what that's what it's for. But what do you mean you're saving money? It's like, I just throw my net pay into there. And it was like, you realize you're supposed to use that for investing, right? That's like tax-free money that you're just throwing in there. And the government doesn't care what the hell you buy. They do care, and they do track how much you're investing or how much you're contributing though. And it doesn't matter what you invest in. So it's like, they didn't really understand the use of the account. That's like free money, essentially, especially as you get older. When this thing starts to balloon and compound, they don't want that. They want to tax you in all the ways that they can. So they purposely make it very, very confusing. But trust me, guys, do some research on this. Speak with your CPA or financial advisor if you want to, but I'm telling you, max out your tax advantage accounts. As soon as you turn, at least here it's 18, do that, please. And number 4, this goes with this too. I wish I started credit sooner. Build your credit as soon as humanly possible. This is a hot take. I buy everything on a credit card and I just set up autopay. I literally have done this for years. I get so much money in cash back and different rewards. It also at the exact same time builds my credit, right? Plus a bunch of other perks and a bunch of other things that I don't even use sometimes and other subscriptions that these things come with for free. But it's just like, You want to leverage this over time that you're building for yourself. When you eventually do want to get that auto loan or buy a rental property or whatever, right? You can do this, but you can't do that without credit. So, and a lot of people, be very careful. This is why I highly recommend auto pay, because these interests, these things will bite you. These are sharks coming for your money. These are typically like 20, 22, 25%. I've seen some stupidly high ones of money that people just roll over. It's like, what are you doing, man? You got to be careful. Like, you will get screwed on this if you don't pay your, not just your minimum, but your actual amount. What do you owe? And that's why I just set it and forget it. I get the auto pay, so I always have the exact amount in the checking, but I can't tell you how important. A lot of people, they don't realize this till, too late, and then they have no credit. And it's like, no bank, no anyone is going to give you a loan, right? So this is very, very important as you get older. So start that as soon as you possibly can, and take advantage of basically the free money. Number 5, another thing on taxes, take advantage of your tax deductions. And this can go a whole bunch of ways, but just ones that I thought off the cuff was student loan interest, medical expenses, retirement contributions, write-offs, like et cetera, et cetera. For example, I don't know, you work from home like I do. You can almost in all cases write off some of your apartment or your house that you use for working from home, and or your phone and your Wi-Fi and all these other things. You just need to keep all your receipts, bring them to your accountant around tax time. And I personally save, still to this day, thousands every year by doing this. And for my creators, for my guys who are now doing YouTube videos, as funny as it sounds, this is partially a business, and the government will confirm it and maybe ask you some questions on it. But 9 times out of 10, you can write off equipment that you're buying to make these videos, because it isn't a form of business when you set up an AdSense account, right? So if you're taxed on it, you may as well, which you 100% will be on your earnings, you may as well get some tax advantaged on your behalf. So just a small little thing. Number 6. This is a big one that I still battle with, and I still do to this day. If you want to purchase something nice for yourself, like a laptop, a watch, something that's going to cost a couple $1,000s, or even something small, like a nice couple $100 dinner, think of ways how a side hustle or additional income sources could pay for it. And this is like a small hack that I do this with myself. I've done this a ton of times. My most recent, I think, a couple months back, was when I moved apartments. I realized my expenses would increase and jump by about like a little over $1,000 a month, 1,100, 1,000, something like that. So instead of just surfacely paying that and being like, okay, yep, sounds good, let's go, I broke it down and said, okay, I want to challenge myself. Is there another service I could sell within my business, or more consulting work that I could take on to literally offset this difference? And it's cheesy, but it was almost like a personal challenge that I did to myself, and be like, hey, let's just, figure out what I can do to reverse this, and be like, well, if I need to pay this much in expense, or I want to buy a nice watch, how many deals? What other things can I do to pay for this watch? So then it's like, you're almost not even really paying for it, even though you obviously are. I'm just saying, like, it's a game. Gamify things. If you guys know my channel, I'm all about just gamifying life as much as you can. All these numbers on a screen and all that, none of it's real, right? Just try to like push through, have fun. Buy nice stuff when you want to, and when you can afford it. I'll talk about this in a couple of minutes too, but just be careful, right? And this little hack is really fun, and I do it all the time. And if there's anyone, I think of Will Motivation on YouTube. Check him out if you like cars and business. He does this for each of his properties in his portfolio. He literally names his cars after like the property address or something like that, I'm pretty sure. He's like, if this is the Andrea property, then this Lambo is going to be called Andrea, and his properties pay for his Lambos and his Ferraris and also his supercars. It's really, really cool. So that's something that you could do. Number 7, this is a bit of a longer one. This is more of a mindset one, but realize that just long term, okay, being frugal forever is not a good thing. It isn't. It will long term hold you back mentally. It attracts, especially when you have kids, it attracts scarcity and just lack. And I don't mean to get all, trust me, woo-woo on you, but I do really believe in the subconscious mind, the universe, and all that kind of stuff, and a higher, self. And I do think we need to be more abundant once we've got our baselines covered, right? Our baseline expenses, we're saving good money, we're investing good money. It's crazy the amount of happiness that I've gotten from taking my mom on nice dinners, or buying nice things for people, or just buying out multiple kids' lemonade stands. I swear to God, I've done this like 5-6 times, just because. and seeing their faces light up is almost always more exciting than making the money itself. And especially more than just having the money sit there in an account. Like, again, I get it. Get your minimums covered. But you know what's funny? It's like I do stuff like that, and weirdly, it comes right back in the form of more money through my customers, through my business, or just other odd opportunities that just all of a sudden fall on my lap to make more money. Like, I know it sounds weird, but trust me on this. Do not be afraid to spend money on the real luxuries of life. Maybe not always the materialistic stuff, but just the real, just real life stuff that puts a smile on your face at the end of the day. That's all you can ask for. If you have that, you've won in life. So again, I don't want this to be super drawn out. I wanted to keep this clear, concise. None of that like work harder, be disciplined. It's like, no, tactical, actionable items that you could literally start every single one of these tomorrow if you wanted to. Again, I mean this from experience, from the bottom of my heart. I do these to this day, some of these, and the other stuff is more automated. But anyways, as always, if you've made it this far, I genuinely want to see you win. If you have any questions below, or drop them below, comment below, I'll get to them as soon as I can, and we'll roll from there. Thank you.